Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unpopular View.
Thank you all for clicking on our faces.
New flag with all that.
Okay, so I wrote down some notes.
Shots do that.
I don't want to sit too hard.
That's twice. That'll probably go over about as well as Colonel Dippy.
Because there was no Jay White site.
Okay, just straight up gangbanging. This story has been finished. You gotta pay attention.
So Unpopular Review does not. What is she the CEO of, Chris? Jesus God.
When I first saw you, I thought that we should have sex in the coat closet.
Yeah? Wait, hold on. I am kind of in a weird place.
Yeah, you're in a beach club coat closet.
Do you think that we could just talk for a minute? I've had too many girlfriends over the past couple years. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Tell me.
What?
I'll give you some of this pie if you tell me more about your past.
It's not like I don't come with my own complications.
I'm a mess, and I don't have any answers. But maybe you and I could figure it out together. I'm happy to tell you a few more embarrassing stories about my love life.
Well, I promise not to laugh.
Really?
I promise not to laugh much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming back. This is Which Brings Me to You. Apparently, it was a very popular movie in 2023. And the reason I chose this movie is very simple. I asked a question to Meta AI. Give me a list of rom-coms that came out recently and are popular. And this was one of the ones that showed up as being popular. And, you know, it's quite an interesting movie because I personally think that it's relatable to a lot of people, especially if you've gone to weddings, you know, because if you go to weddings, especially if you're single and go to weddings, like these kind of opportunities are available. Now, they usually go quite a different way, to be honest with you. A vastly different way. And mind you, for part of the movie, that's the way that I thought it was going to go. But it certainly went in a different direction. You know, I'm curious to see what you guys think about, you know, what happened throughout this movie, because yeah, I thought it was going to be just crazy sex in the beginning and then kind of like an American Pie movie, but no, it's definitely hit the rom-com spot for a reason, because this was very lovey-dovey, and you know. So anyway, what do you guys think? I mean, wait, we're gonna start with Mike, or we're gonna start with Chris? Because Chris, you muted for a reason. I don't know why you muted.
It's confusing. Normally the person next to you goes next, but
that's all right. That's it. Go ahead. What did you think about this movie, Mike?
Well, you said two things that kind of just threw me off just then. You said popular, and the reviews on this movie were putrid. Okay, it got a 2-star, 2.5 stars. That's one thing. That's
Wow.
one thing. Second, you just said romantical. I am a hopeless romantic, those who do not know me, as I am the romantic one in here and team no ma'am. Okay? I watch chick flicks because it's a Tuesday. The trailer to me was the funniest thing in this movie because that's how I felt about the movie. It was like, she said, I might laugh or maybe I won't. And I just thought that was how I felt about this movie. As someone who loves rom-coms, we just got finished doing My Big Fat Greek Wedding, which I'd never watched until we watched it then. I thought it was pretty good for a rom-com, despite the fact how you ripped it about how the dude was a loser, which your points were all completely valid. He gave up his whole lifestyle, religion, and family, everything for this chick. But when I'm watching this movie,
the lack thereof,
it can be relatable because we all have a past, right? But what got me about this movie was not the fact that they had a past. It was when they were narrating their past, why the past was going on. Thought that was very odd. I also felt the acting between the two. First of all, rom-coms must have one of two things at least. That's one of the two being attractive. That is like the rom-com one-on-one. You know, either handsome guy, ugly girl, handsome girl, ugly guy, both attractive, but both being, as this generation would call it today, mid. I don't know about that part. And I just thought like the chemistry between them just did not match for me. Watching this movie, and I was like, you know me, I love watching a film we've never watched before. And so I was like, okay, what could it be about? Then I said, oh, it's a Hulu movie. Well, that led me to think it's like a Netflix movie. How many Netflix and Hulu movies are actually originally made that are good? About 20%. And that's what I felt about this movie. 20% of the way through the movie. But did it get better? I don't know. Chris, your take.
I laughed, I chuckled. It has some interesting jokes in it. You know, I like the dynamic. I like the whole flashbacks, but we're there as we're telling you about all these oddball relationships we have because, I mean, let's be real, that's what a lot of people do when they're getting into a new relationship with somebody. Like, they talk about how effed up their relationships have been.
Mm-hmm.
And it ties together with the title, and I thought it was quite cool. I like the fact that they met because they wanted to screw around in the coat closet, but he ended up having cold feet. I thought it was cool. I heard Vic picked this movie from his cousin, and I was like, okay, cool. I never heard this movie. I'll give it a chance. The trailer looked funny, kind of like what Mike said. The trailer was the funniest part. That's all right. Let me give it a chance, and I gave it a chance. Yeah, I'm not going to call both of them mid. You know, Mike's like super picky, but I'm not going to call.
I mean, I think them being
I am
mid
super
is
picky.
what makes it relatable.
That's like, all right, I almost made a wrestling reference, which we do a lot here.
Only Vic does that on the show.
Like, people love Kevin Owens because he's a fat guy.
I mean, hey, yeah. And he got mic skills. But anyway, like the thing about this is just that they both spent time with each other and they got to know each other, and they really enjoyed each other's company.
How can you get to know someone in a day?
No, I mean, they
tell a
spent
person
enough time with
anything.
each other.
We don't know if their stories were what they were saying to each other was true or not.
I mean,
we don't
look,
know
they're
that.
not getting married though. They getting to know each other. Like, look, you can meet somebody on Tinder, right? Mm-hmm. Do the thing, and then choose to speak to them again, hang out with them again.
No, I get that, but what you just said is what I'm picking on what you just said though. You said get to know each other. You cannot get to know each other in one day.
You can, but you can want to spend some more time.
Okay.
So that's where it ended. Like, they got to know. They spent all this time saying all these stories to each other, and now they want to spend more time together. Whatever it is that looks like, that's where they want to take it. You know what I mean? And the funny thing is that they set this whole thing up as if they were just meeting somebody and drinking and having a good time and talking shit. It's kind of like you go on a cruise, you meet some people, you talk all this shit, you're never gonna see them again. Mm-hmm. That was the whole lineup behind this.
Of the wedding part. Yeah, I get that scenario of it, but it just didn't work in this scenario between these two.
I mean, they clearly did. They ended up in the beach, funny, ready
not
to
attractive. Just not attractive people. You can't have a rom-com and you're not attractive.
Yeah, like, you can.
Even some people didn't find Reese Witherspoon attractive, but that's I get it. Looks are in the eyes of the beholder, all that good stuff, right? I get all that, right? But there's always somebody that's ugly that's cast for something. No, but both being so mid.
That's what I'm saying, though. Not everybody could be that hot. That's why it's relatable.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's a whole bunch of mid girls.
But I don't go watch movies for relatability. You know what I mean? When I go watch a rom-com, what normally catches a male or a female when it comes to a rom-com is they're attracted to one of the people that's in the movie. Whether it's Patrick McDuffie, you know what I mean? Whether it's Matthew McConaughey, whether it's Goldie Hawn. I'm just throwing out names here. Sharon Stone in her day. What make people go see Julia Roberts, because that smile, that laugh, it's attraction. We watch rom-coms for the attraction. Crazy Rich Asians. You can't tell me that dude was not the bee's knees. You know,
Ooh,
that's all I'm saying.
Judgment aside, it is what it is. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. He said it himself. Like, he's just not attractive. Nobody cares. Let's go ahead and go to
Cares? What do you
commercial.
mean?
Nobody
cares. Nobody cares. You
Nobody
wear stupid
cares.
sunglasses that night, but we still.
And I'm not
let it
asking
go.
you to. I'm not asking you to. Nor was I talking about. You're going to talk about. You brought it up. Why? Because I'm the executive consultant. Next time, we're going to come back. We're going to
What are
talk
you
about
exactly
more.
discussing, though? I'm curious. What are you exactly executive consulting? I want the that's
You
been
said
your name. You're the
discussing.
executive consultant of what?
I'm consulting you on how not to be so judgmental. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, more What Brings Me to You. Stay with us. You're watching Unpopular Review.
I understand the predicament, but there's something that you should know. We're getting married.
Who is getting
You and I are getting married. Yes,
We are.
getting married.
We are getting.
Yes, can't fight a love like ours. So, are we good?
How can you be around someone who made your life so miserable?
Sweetie,
Honey,
some proposals change you.
Why don't you get married here tomorrow?
Let's see a kiss.
I'm just doing it really fast.
For better or worse.
You were a real kiss.
The proposal.
Oh wow! I'm damn. Just because Betty White is in it, I'm looking forward to it. Just for Betty White, just for that alone. Okay. All right. Wait, what else is there to say? So yeah, so the movie. I personally, I thought it was interesting. You know, I think that. The mid perspective that you have is also interesting because I certainly think that these actors are definitely not the best looking, but I think that this story relates. Like I've certainly flirted with people at weddings in my 20s, and you know, it certainly didn't get past the coat closet. But that opportunity was there. You know what I mean? And at first when that happened, I thought he was gonna like I thought it was gonna be a situation where he drank too much and he was just gonna get her later type shit. You know what I mean? That's literally what I thought it was. But it was just him feeling bad over all of the stuff that he went through. Which is cool because like and by the end of the movie, they spoke so much and got to know each other so much that he was just like, listen, I could just talk to you forever and talk and talk and talk and talk. And the reality of the situation is that no matter how pretty she is or how ugly she is, if you could vibe and talk to somebody like that, that's one of the best things to have. You know, so I appreciate this movie because it pretty much just shows you like, sometimes you got a vibe that you just can't let go of. No matter how damaged you end up, how much shit you go through, sometimes you might end up something that is your happily ever after. And I think that was portrayed pretty well in this movie. The only problem is that like unlike the preview that we just saw to the proposal, that movie looks way funnier. Like this movie, like you got to pay attention and listen to their stories and things like that. Even though the stories are interesting, you know, they definitely had some interesting stories, especially the first one when the guy came in his eye. Like that was hilarious, you know. But other than that, everything was just pretty like sad and lonely, especially when the girl lost a boyfriend.
Yeah, that's my point. It's a rom-com. It's supposed to be romantically funny. And you can sit here and get all serious, Mr. Executive Consultant, because I'm talking about how they're mid-looking people. Obviously, that's me being that's obviously me, you know, joking around. I'm not the, you know, the most fit fella on the program. You know what I mean? But when you watch a romantic comedy.
What does Vic have to do with anything?
Huh?
What does Vic have to do with anything?
What are you talking about?
You said the most fit fellow on the program. Vic is always running around.
No, you're missing my point here because you're trying to be funny and it's not sticking. Okay.
I'm not. Vic is always running around. He's more fit. I can't run.
I didn't say nobody's name. I said I am not the most fit person on the program. I didn't mention you. I didn't mention him. So
I mentioned you.
Okay. My point.
You are
The point here is it. I didn't find it funny. I didn't find it them to be romantic. Again, look at 08 movie called Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. No one ever called Michael Cera attractive, and very few people will find my girl from Two Broke Girls, Kate Dennings from Thor, that attractive outside of her chest area. You know what I mean? But being two not sexy, beautiful people, the movie still was funny, and the romance between the two, the chemistry, that's the tone I couldn't find here between these two. That just wasn't there. It's like watching, like I said, a Netflix movie where it's just they're just putting there together to say the words, but there's no romantic chemistry between the two. It's like I watched this TV show called All American. No romantic communion at all between, in my opinion, between Spencer and Olivia. It's just after 7 seasons, I still don't feel the love between the two for the way they're supposed to bring you in. I wasn't ever brought in. This movie didn't bring me into their story, right? It's supposed to be romantic, and then like I said, they put them in scenes where like, here's what's going on in my life before us, and here's what I'm telling you about this story while I'm sitting right here narrating it. I just didn't get the stick of the film. I didn't find it romantic. I didn't find it comedy. I hate to say this. I thought Date Movie was probably better than this. And I hated Date Movie. But I would watch Date Movie a million times over before I watched this over again. That's how I felt about watching this film. It just, to me, did not stick on any level. So for me, without even having to go further ado, I just did a Vic, right? I didn't like this film. Thumbs down for me. Final thoughts on that one. I just didn't like it. It just didn't do nothing for me as a moviegoer, as a romantic person. I didn't feel it. Yes, just because I can relate to something doesn't make it good. You know? That's all. I relate to gangbanging. I don't mean you should be gangbanging. So. And action.
What makes somebody sexy?
Huh?
It depends on the person. Mike feels like they're mid. That's his opinion. That's his
why are we going back to what I say? Worry about your own.
Because I'm piggybacking off of what you said.
No, don't piggyback. Well, you can't piggyback that because you don't know what sexy is. You didn't bring sexy back. You don't know nothing about that. Bringing sexy back. What do you know about that?
I woke up. Ladies and gentlemen, did I enjoy this movie? Is the question. Let's find out the answer.
Tonight's broadcast has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am, National Organization of Men Against Amazonian Masterhood.
Of course, I was interested in this movie, and it did capture my opinion. It did capture my attention. It gets a thumbs up from me, barely, but it gets a thumbs up from me. It just captured my attention long enough.
This man gave, if I recall right, Do the Right Thing a thumbs down, but gave, which brings me to you, a thumbs up. I just can't. I just can't. Explain to me, since this has been predisposed or pre-edited and all that predisposed. What pray tell, what makes this a thumbs up for you? What determines a thumb? Was it better than Sharknado? I mean, was it better than the Penguin? Was it better than the Batman? Like, what is the line here, buddy?
It was better than the Batman. It was not better than Sharknado, but it was way better than the Batman.
Okay.
It was close. It was teetering. Trust me.
It was teetering. Okay. I was just
don't
curious.
think you won anything. You didn't. But it gets a thumbs up.
Gets a thumbs up. All right. Victor Bader, what you got?
I was entertained. So for me, it's a thumbs up. I thought it was an interesting movie. I mean, I'll be honest with you, because it's a new movie, and I mean like the last 5 years, I expected a little bit more. But it was just like self-deprecating comedy for the both of them. You know what I mean? They were just like it's like they were both a couple of comedians just saying their stories. And that, I mean, I literally think that, you know, this whole thing just could have been at the wedding with them drinking and just sharing the stories, and then that's it, because that kind of thing is what happens, you know. Like, hold up, what's that game? Oh, Never Have I Ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you put fingers up and stuff like that. Like, you know, that's like an icebreaker. But yeah, you know, in the beginning, at first, I thought it was gonna be a situation when he just didn't sleep with her, where he just like rejected her, because you could see in her face.
Yeah, that
she
was like the funniest part when she was like, he was like, "Can we talk?" And she was like, and just like walked out the room, like, dude,
because that's the last thing she was looking for.
Yeah.
Like, she was
What you mean
Well,
talk?
you know what? That's today's generation.
Facts, because I mean, listen, anybody else I think would have taken advantage of that situation and then probably started with that whole "can we talk" maybe afterwards.
Yeah,
Afterwards.
no one wants to talk anymore.
You know what I mean? I mean, if you like her, then yeah, you know.
Such a
But
shame. No one wants to
People
talk.
nobody want to talk anymore. They want to get right into it.
I mean, you know what?
No R&B music, just straight. You know,
You know,
just get
like
to it.
honestly, like if you have the after the nut clarity, and then you still want to hang out with her, like, you know what I mean? I think that says a lot.
I want before, right? I want before, and I don't get it.
Nah, because your mind is clogged with, you know, wanting to release. But then once you release and then you still want to hang out with her, I think that's a saying. That's telling, you know what I mean? That she's cool. You feel me? And like, and they had that, and he still wanted to chill with her because he liked talking to her. You know, it's cool. Like, you know, you bust a nut and then you don't want to kick her out or nothing. You feel me?
So glad we got off of PG. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Big's going to take us home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on another edition of Unpopular Review Entertainment. This was a good time. Some of us liked it, some of us didn't. But it is what it is. You already know. Join us next time for the next movie. Peace.
Boom.